peace. You know what it is. It's your man SKYZOO Skyzoo live from the borough. And this is the Pay Me No Mind podcast.
This is Ray Flores, ring announcer for Green River Boxing Champions. You are listening to the Pay Me No Mind podcast with my man, Wood.
Over the Magic Man Malinaji, giving a big shout out to the Pay Me No Mind podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is Swift Jerry Heard, 20-0, 14 knockouts, the new IBF champion of the world, and I'm right here with the Pay Me No Mind show.
Yo, it's your boy John Connor, and you're checking out the Pay Me No Mind podcast. It's Aftermath, it ain't nothing after that. Flint, we in the building. It's Connor, what?
You are listening to Pay Me No Mind with show host Wood.
All right. Enough of that. Playing around a little bit too much. What's good, family? I've been playing or sitting on this. I've been sitting on this, doing this breakdown of this album, kind of talking through it for a couple of weeks. Actually, I'm kind of glad I took a moment and backed up to kind of live with the album for a moment and get a better understanding of kind of what I really liked about it and, kind of go from there. So I'm going to talk through a few things. I think I got some notes here for a couple of tracks, all the tracks actually, but I don't think I go in on all of them. But I guess in general, like I'm having some signal troubles tonight. What's going on here? Nah, it's just completely dead. That's not good. It's just maybe I'm just not meant to talk about this album. I might have to come back and do it. We coming back now? Still seem to be having some problems. Like I said, I must not be meant to talk about this album. Are we good now? Okay. So it looked like the signal was holding. I'm gonna see what's if it's gonna stand up for a minute. But anyway, man, I just really wanted to talk about it, man. Like I said, I'm about to be mid-40s, early mid-40s, actually mid-40s, I think. 44. So I'm not here to tell you I'm the aficionado on any of this stuff. I'm just extremely excited lately that we have good music that's being released, that the game seems to be letting a variety of people rap and spit again. It seems like production matters right now. It seems like album making matters right now. I just feel like in general, that the game is in a pretty good space. And so it's been a number of projects here lately. Actually, one comes out in like a few hours, 2.5 hours maybe, with the Ghostface joint. Ghostface Killers, I believe, is the project from Tony Starks. So I'm excited to see what that's all about, although I kind of fear like the biggest joints on that one have already been out there with the conditioning video, and then the party. I forget what the party over here or party something. So I kind of fear like and then with albums kind of being, 10 songs, 11 songs, like what else is really on the project? But that's for another day. We'll get to that once I dig into that one. I want to keep this pretty much on Rapsody. Also, you might have heard earlier today, feel free to check out I put that it was a reaction, but one of the youngins got me together that I did more of a review. But so you might have heard that this Skyzoo and the legendary Pete Rock have a joint project coming out called Retropolitan on the 20th of September, and today they put out the second single, which is a Eastern Conference All-Stars, which features Elzai from up in Detroit, as well as the Griselda family, Conway the Machine, West Side Gun, and Benny the Butcher. Phenomenal track. I mean, one of the best, arguably my best or my favorite beat that I've heard production-wise. Like there's something else. But arguably my favorite track that I've heard. Just 5 seconds into it, I mean, you hear the first bar, and it's really like Pete Rock went back and really just knocked the production out of the park. And I probably should have had a basketball reference there, but I don't. Is this thing tripping again? Oh no. So yeah, I hope you check that out. I was at work, heard it, and had to go out for lunch. There wasn't another body in the building that I could really stop that would appreciate the song. I've been trying to talk up Sky Zoo for like 4 years now to no avail. So I was like, man, when I get to the whip, I'm telling somebody about this project. So yeah, I did a little review on it and broke it down. Kind of touched on some of the stuff I'm gonna get in here with Rapsody. One, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's pretty funky, honestly, that a company, Jamla Records, is really rolling with Rapsody as their flagship artist. I really tip my cap to Ninth Wonder and Young Guru and everybody that's associated with it. And she's a hard worker, man. I mean, she's a hard worker. She's put herself out there against some of the dopest men in the game, and has held her own. That's tough. I mean, even on this project, rhyming up against Jid, who's a up and coming cat, but to rhyme up against J. Cole, to put Jizza on the Ibtihaj cut. I mean, she's out here really pushing herself. And so I salute her to that. I mean, she's had all kind of. This is the third studio album, which you can see down there on the scroll. But if you've been checking out Rapsody over the last 7 to 8 years, 6 years, whatever it's been, I mean, she's been on the track with everybody. I want to say Jay Electronica, Common. I'm not sure if she had Nipsey Hussle on one of those mixtapes. I want to say she did, but I could be wrong on that one. I might be thinking of that Problem cat from out on the West Coast. But she's been on cuts with Big Daddy Kane, just pushing herself. So she definitely deserves a tip of the cap, and a huge salute on what she's doing. One thing that I hope that brothers don't do, and I had to go back and think when I was a young kid, man. I didn't buy, when I bought a lot of female singles and LPs or 12 inches. Not even gonna say it. But I didn't buy a lot of albums of female rappers back in the day. And I had to look at myself on that. Now my funds were limited, so I had to buy the main dudes that I liked. I guess that's my defense. I'm talking about before I really started working, and my mom used to take me to the record store and buy me a tape, once a week. So I guess in that regard, I don't feel too bad that I didn't buy Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. I'm very familiar with them, and like I said, once I did start working, I mean, I bought Lil' Kim's first joint. I bought Foxy Brown's first joint. I think Foxy Brown is phenomenal. Now, I didn't buy the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill because that was more, I don't know, it wasn't pop, but I tend to not buy multi-platinum albums that kind of cross over that I hear on the radio a lot. I've never really bought them. I've never bought a Beyonce album. I just really don't do popular material. I'm still sitting here checking out some football. But what I was going to say was I hope that men do not give this time, or don't give this time thinking that because of the titles of the record or the songs on here, or just kind of the presentation of it, some things that you may be hearing, there's this stigma attached to feminism. I mentioned this on an earlier, like, partial review of it. I don't know what the hell feminism is, man. I feel like, in general, I said this before, man, we got to listen to one another in this country, man. Either you listen or you don't listen and you mind your damn business. And I think with her, a couple of songs on here, she is asking for to be considered equal or for equality, to be respected, to be acknowledged, to be praised and credited and et cetera, et cetera. But at no point in time is she saying, like, recognize me as superior. You know what I mean? And I think the brother that's on Saturday Night Live, Michael something, Che, I think he had a dope joke in his Netflix comedy special, was like he was just talking about that Black Lives was just trying to say, or the whole movement was like, we're just trying to say we matter. We didn't say we matter more or we're the only thing that matters. It just said we just wanted to the premise or to suggest that we matter. And I think here she's just rap is just saying I'm making albums. I'm an MC. This is the stuff that's going on that I see, that I observe. Here's my struggle. And, I thought I'd put some thoughts together on it. And if you rock with it, good. I'm trying hard. And, just show me some love. And like I said, I think, man, she's one of the hardest workers in this game. And I honestly, I think I also mentioned it on another partial review that if we're keeping it funky, man, are there a better two back consecutive albums by a female rapper or, a female MC? Are there two better back-to-back albums than Layla's Wisdom? I don't know. I don't know that it is. I think I'm having some signal problems again. Okay, there we go. But I was just saying, I don't know if we're really if there's two better back-to-back albums now where hip hop is and all of the focus on everything. Because you think about it back in the day, a cassette when records were on cassettes, 8 or 9 songs might have been a whole album. 7 songs might have been a whole album. We didn't really look at promotion the same, promoting record sales the same. It was a totally different era. But now, in this era, it's more ears on it. It's more publications out there. It's more websites talking about hip hop. It's more YouTube channels. Everything is being highly scrutinized across the board. So with everything where we are now, I mean, I would ask the question, like, is it another better 2 albums out there, better conceived, better produced, more cohesive? I really don't know. But so that's all I'm saying, man. And then lastly, this last joint on here that the album closes, which is kind of really dope, is the Afeni joint, and I'll put that on one of my social media accounts the other day. That if Pac posthumously released Afeni and had the same lyrics in it, brothers would be pouring out Duce and running around talking about this anthem. But it's almost like because a woman wrote it and some of the stuff in there, I might get into some of the lyrics here in a second, but it's a really dope record. And shout out to the brother PJ Morton, who's on the hook. Very soulful brother. I would suggest that you go check out PJ Morton. And you catch that? No. Check that out. PJ Morton has a new album out called Paul. I think that's his real name, is Paul Morton Jr., I think. But check that out. It's called Paul. It's like 11 joints. It's real short but soulful. A duet on there with Jasmine Sullivan. Another duet called Say So with JoJo. It's a video out there on YouTube you can check out to that one. It's a remake of the Gap Band joint. The time has come for us to stop messing around. My heart is yearning, whatever it is. I can't even remember. But anyway, back to this, man. Let me jump into these songs, man, and kind of where I'm at. 17 minutes. I've already kind of ran along a little too late. But let me jump into these tracks. When I first listened to this record, when I first listened to this or streamed this, the first two times, the album really didn't get cooking to me until Maya. Maya is like song 8, I believe. Let me get my stuff here together on the screen. Yeah, 8, Maya featuring K. Roosevelt. That was really where the album started cooking for me, with the dope sample of Erykah Badu. And I gotta back that up a little bit, man. I did think that Nina, which is the first joint on the album, which is for Nina Simone, obviously. I really think it's a dope song that really sets the tone of the album and kind of really lets you know. It's kind of the central idea of what the whole project is about. Obviously, it's called Eve. It's produced by Mark Bird. It's got some. It sounds like a rally call or a. It sounds like, you know, it's ready to do war, or you know, it's the announcement of something significant that's coming. But yeah, definitely I had on my note was that it sets the emotional tone for the bulk of the project, and then it introduces the listener to one of my favorite aspects of the album, which is this poet or spoken word artist called Raina Biddy. Biddy is the co-star here, and really the decision I hadn't heard of her before this, but the decision by Rapsody to include Raina Biddy and to commission her to put these spoken word pieces on here to kind of tie the album together in certain spots was a phenomenal decision. I mean, I'll get to some more Raina Biddy here in a minute, but she really sets the album off. She has some of my favorite highlights on the project. So Nina is dope. Check that one out. Immediately upon listening to the first listen, Cleo, which is for the fictional character and Set It Off, Queen Latifah's character. You know, if you've seen the movie, you know all about what Cleo was about. Make of that what you want to. But obviously the song is sampling the Heat of Night track by Phil Collins. And everybody knows that song. It's instantly you're familiar with, you know, the sample and what it's about and what the emotion of that song was. And that it's a real serious joint. And that's done here is that really Rapsody gets into calling out all of her haters and everybody who's held her back or disrespected her throughout the years. And I think she does an excellent job of telling the music industry that, you know, you can kiss my ass now. Like, I've been working, I'm here, I ain't going nowhere. I got all the big dogs and all the meaningful cosigns, all the meaningful you know, personalities and figures behind me, and I'm doing my thing. And I got 2 successful albums. I'm touring. Life is good. So Cleo is really dope. She, like I said, she just talks about the early detractors, doubters, and then I think in one of the verses she hits on the lack of unity in community, and then even you know, in the sub community of black women. And I think that's indicative here of the fact that the only female on the album is veteran Queen Latifah, who kills it. Who kills it. We'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, I'll say that. I'll say a little commentary here, and then I'll move on to the rest of these songs. But I think that's a lost opportunity for some of the other female rappers who I don't listen to. But I see on the men's side, you know, you can get a Black Thought to rap or to be a feature on Big Pun or on the Benny the Butcher joint. You can see them. You can see that type of combination. You've seen J. Cole rapping with some different dudes that you would normally associate him with. But in the men's game, you'll see various tandems. You know, Common and T.I. have been on cuts together. Damn. UGK and Talib Kweli, they had a joint together. On the men's side, and it's a chance to like cross-pollinate, or to me, it would have been an opportunity for some of the female rappers that the current ones that are on the radio, or even a young Ma, to come over and show some range by rapping with Rapsody. I think that's a missed opportunity, and I think it's also a miss of showing unity between women. And, like I said, I just thought that's a kind of a downer for the project, because this is too... Now, she does have... So let me get on with it. Aaliyah is the third track. The beat is pretty fire. I really like the beat, and it's filled with a bunch of different Aaliyah references. Not one of my favorite songs on the project, but if you take into consideration the fact that Rapsody's kind of coined this style of hers as tomboy feminine, and I think one of the early, pioneers of that look, along with TLC, is probably, and even Aaliyah was a little more sexier than kind of the clowny look with the condoms and all the colors and all of that stuff. Aaliyah kind of had, brought the sultry and, the sexy look to it, along with the baggier clothes and so on and so forth. And I think that's kind of what inspired this song, was kind of the style of Rapsody. So, and she weaves in a bunch of Aaliyah's, the names of her albums or hot songs and whatnot. Like I said, I kind of, it's an okay song, but it's just an album song for me. Oprah's track 4, featuring Kelly 47. I think that's how you say her name. I'm gonna be honest, man, I was a little harsh on this song out the gate. I kind of didn't understand, it's a little odd, I think, to hear Rapsody spitting about money and the way that they kind of go through it. I mean, it was some creativity to it, I guess. Kelly's verse is pretty it's pretty dope. That's the second time. That's another project she's on right now that was the second time hearing her. I can't think. Maybe that was that might have been my man out of Chicago. BJ the Chicago Kid, maybe. But anyway, but I think this just goes to the fact, or speak to the fact, that Rapsody is touring a lot. I think she's making some more money. She's getting different opportunities, being with Roc Nation or part of that umbrella, under that umbrella. I think she's doing the festival circuit. If you look at her on that Netflix joint, like I said, I think she's touring and making some pretty good money, even if, a big time album sales might not be there per se. I think she's starting to see and touch some money. So I guess it's a celebration of that. Track number 5 is produced by Crisis. I like her aggressiveness on here. The beat is fire. Crisis is very, very quietly. Crisis is one of my go-to. He might be in my top 5 of current guys producing beats. I like a lot of stuff that Crisis is doing. That Jericho Jackson album with Elzai was dope. That's another dude that Rapsody has had a feature with, Elzai. So like I said, Whoopi, it's dope. Serena, I think that's kind of more of one of the third single, maybe, I think. I don't even have any notes on that one. It's a decent song produced by Eric G. Obviously, Serena, Rapsody includes a lot of sports references and, in her lyrics. And Serena just playing earlier tonight on the U.S. Open, sitting at 27 Grand Slams. So, it's dope to honor Serena. If you haven't picked up on it yet, or you haven't checked into the album yet, all of the song titles are named after prominent black women, except, like I said, with the exception of Cleo, which is a fictional character. Song number 7, Tyra, produced by Eric G, is for Tyra Banks. To be honest, this song kind of, I don't have any notes on that one either. It's about black beauty, black don't crack. figure, shape. Other cultures are, freely borrowing from our appeal, etc., etc. It's just not for me. I mean, okay. So I don't have much to say on that one. Track number 8, like I said, featuring K. Roosevelt, is really when the album, for me, really gets to cooking. Coming in at 16 tracks, so we're at the halfway point. Maya's kind of, like I said, the sample is dope. I mean, Ninth Wonder is one of the better dudes right now at taking some of the better songs in the last 10 or 15 years and really finding dope ways to sample that the same way that the Blue Note was sampled, the Blue Note material, the Blue Note catalog, all the Stax records and chopping all of that type of stuff up. Ninth Wonder seems like every project that he's associated with, he finds a way to find a really dope sample out of something that's, 10, 15 years old and whatnot. So that's one. And then the chorus on that one is, I can't be no bird in the cage. My bad, I don't want to wait. We got the juice, we got the proof. Mama always told me don't waste your time. The song is really, it's really kind of been a bit of an anthem, to just, as I've been in the gym and working on some stuff around the house, I can't be no bird in a cage. I gotta go out here and do what I need to do and be who I need to be. I thought she had something on here. I'm not really going into too many of her lyrics. I've said this before. I think this album is dope because of the sum of its parts. I don't know that it's a bunch of verses that really blow me away right now. It's some very solid verses. It's some catchy wordplay on here. Some metaphors. She has something on this song. If you confuse my boxing with me being boxed in, it's my native language. Ain't gotta say it in moccasins. Whatever I be rocking, and I speak the truth. Like 222 times 2, yeah, that's 444. Obviously a reference to Jay. But I thought she had something on this song about Luke Cage and Sue Bird. Yeah, down here she says, I ain't the one to cross. I left that burden to Lecrae. I got a plot for every block until I'm king like Luke Cage. Bird, that's my word, the only time the two relate. And then like in the ad-lib it says a cage bird. So she got some dope stuff going on. Lyrically, it just took me a couple of plays. Like I said, I lived with the record for a minute and I really started picking up on some of the nuances of the joint. And it works. And she's doing some dope stuff on here. So don't think that the lyrics aren't there. Let me get back to what I was at. Song number 9 obviously really kind of got my interest in the project really going. Just set off everything for me to hear the sample with the Ittihaj is a single with D'Angelo and Jizza. Obviously, taking one of my favorite joints, my Wu-Tang joints from back in the day. Again, produced by Ninth Wonder. And reworks the sample just a little bit to update it a little bit. But then Jizza comes on and just kills it. D'Angelo in the hook. The video was dope. I want to say one thing on here that I wanted to point out. And it's a shame, but it's part of where I'm at right now with hearing some of these new albums coming out and reminding me of the essentials, the foundational stuff that I loved about rap. But Jizza spits at the end of his verse, well-written rap bound to have a greater impact on a listener for the fact it's well intact, and MC should electrify, beautify, strive to empower, inspire, transform a worldview. And I think that's really one thing that I really credit. If I don't give Rapsody any love, I gotta give her some credit for dropping different names. Even the names of the album gonna make you go and look up who these people are. and what's the meaning of something. But then she mentions people like Misty Copeland, the dancer, sister that's one of the few that's killing the ballerina game, who's been recognized and received trumpet awards, NAACP, all of that stuff. It's good to see Rapsody in her lane saluting that sister who's a minority inside of a minority over in that game. And like I said, hopefully if some younger person hears this, you go and look up who Misty Copeland is. And obviously, like I said, she mentions different figures throughout history. I'll get to another one here in a second, another one of the titles. But Ibtihaj is dope. The next song, Mary Lee, featuring Mariba. I wasn't even, when I listened to it about 2 or 3 times and forgot really who Mary Lee was. But this is the wife of Mary Lee Evers Williams. I mean, this is the wife of Medgar Evers. I'm sorry. Her name is Mary Lee Evers Williams. This song has really kind of... What's up, box fans, man? I don't even know if you still on here. My bad. I wasn't looking at the screen. My bad. But yeah, Mary Lee, the wife of Medgar Evers, you understand the situation there. But what's really touching in that song is that she's saying to all of the soldiers throughout the years who were involved with the civil rights stuff, you know, all of the brothers who lost their lives fighting that battle and fighting for equality and out here really risking it all, they had wives at home. You know, they left families at home. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, the list goes on and on and on. And she says here that she kind of has a conversation about, you know, hopefully your sacrifice now in the future, some brother won't have to go out here and risk his life to create change and be an agent of change and all of that. And it's a really thoughtful song, man. It's really, like I said, I was cutting my grass Saturday, taking this album to the lab, and it's one that I had to bring back a couple times. So I'll check Mary Lee out. Like I said, that's one of my top 3 or 4 songs on this album right now. Beat is fire too, but that's real writing right there. You know, that's that sitting down and really coming up with a unique concept and saying something impactful. The next joint is Raina's Interlude. Back to Raina Biddy, the spoken word artist. Man, she really kills this right here. My note was, it's a piano back poem, and just really taps into the, like I said, the emotional, whatever emotions Rapsody was aiming to get. Raina is a major factor in creating that mood and that vibe. And she says, there's a joint on there where she says, nobody showed you how to survive as a black woman. And it took me back to my mom raising me, man. I was a single parent kid. After my parents got divorced at 11, man, and now sitting here listening to this verse, this interlude, it really reminded me and took me back to all the sacrifices that my mom made. And I won't go into this long or deep into this, man, but my mom has always wanted to be in the medical field and was excellent in school. She graduated from a university here, and you know, I saw her working full time, writing papers at night. This was in the 80s, you know, and when she finished, the field that she could go into didn't pay a whole lot, but it was in the medical field. And at the same time, she had an offer to go work at the post office, making way better money. And my mom turned her back, and and at the same time, her and my dad get a divorce. And my mom made the decision that for my 2 sons, so I can have them in a better neighborhood and a good school system, she said, well, I'm not going to take this, I'm not going to go do what my heart wants me to do or wants to do. I'm going to go and provide for my 2 sons and you know, the rest is history, as they say. And I'll just say, you know, I sit now when I'm in a career field or an industry now that isn't like in my wheelhouse per se. And so I can imagine, you know, her being and you know, going postal. You know about that whole phrase, and the shootings that were back in the day at the post offices and stuff, and kind of the dysfunction and you know, and some of those and the disorganization. That's a tough one. But anyway, she goes on to say in this poem, you are the strongest form of human. And like I said, check that one out, man. Rain Biddy, that's another one of the highlights of the album. Number 12 is Michelle Obama, featuring Elle Varner. This kind of fun joint. Knots is the producer. Elle Varner recently came out with a new album of her own. It's kind of got an old school club vibe to it, a party song. Two sisters having fun and riffing off of one another and just celebrating, you know, being young, successful, and, you know, full of joy and all of that. So really dope. I mean, dope album song. 13 is Iman featuring Jid and Sir. I just checked out Sir yesterday. I listened to both his albums. Pretty dope dude. West Coast has some of the West Coast has a really nice R&B scene, R&B and jazz to a degree. But definitely check out Sir if you haven't had the chance. Jid is a dude I keep seeing on a lot of stuff. This joint is produced by Ninth Wonder. Again, you know, Iman was one of the leading, you know, the first black models to really cash in and kind of establish, you know, black beauty and, you know, black women being accepted. And I don't mean to belittle that, but it's just funny that a community has to really plead with others to be recognized, and even with ourselves to be recognized as beautiful. And I don't know, you know, I came up in the 90s in high school, graduated in 93, and, you know, back then it's been different times in the community where light-skinned people, fair-skinned people were more attractive than darker-skinned people. There was this saying out there, good looking for, or you're handsome for a dark-skinned guy, or cute for a dark-skinned woman, and all these things that by now it's like, it's almost embarrassing here in 2019 that we still gotta have those types of discussions. Like, I like what I like, and I like all the shades. And like I said, I didn't know this was still troubling people, but I do see the comments, you know, in social media, Twitter, who's beautiful, who's not, hair. You know, you see so many of the women on the sisters on TV. I'm looking at Josina Anderson on ESPN the other day. She got hair all down here, you know, my hair down here with the curls all in it. And Pam Oliver, you know, working in the NFL. You've seen her with the... I don't know why we got to do all of that. But this song is okay. It's a very solid album song, Iman. The next joint is a Hat She Put, I think is how you name it. That's the return of Queen Latifah to the booth. Hey man, Queen Latifah, probably 50 years old, 48 years old. Queen Latifah goes in there and burns the booth down. I mean, one of the highlights on the album. Just a dope production. And it's dope for, you know, you don't see a lot of younger hip-hop, I mean, a lot of younger dudes. You don't see them you don't see them go back in the history of rap and bring back a veteran like, you know, Big Daddy Kane, although Jay-Z did that. I don't even want to get into some of my old favorites, but you don't see many guys go back and dig up, you know, and then you got to think, you know, Rapsody is 36 years old. So, and then Queen Latifah is still very relevant. So, but Hat She Put is actually, I had to go back. Like I said, I remember when rap used to inspire you to pick up a book
open an encyclopedia to see who somebody was talking about, and I really was not familiar with Hatshepsut. I'm messing the name up. But this was the second historically confirmed female pharaoh back in the day, and did a whole lot of things, a lot of groundbreaking stuff. I Googled it and found something on Wikipedia and read through it. Obviously, with Queen Latifah on there, speaking about hip hop royalty and just being an elder, out here in the community, in entertainment and all of that. So it's dope. Like I said, man, Queen Latifah's verse is fire. Sojourner is where we at right here. I'm off a different screen. Sojourner is who produced it? Not produced Hatshepsut. Sojourner, I believe that's Ninth Wonder. Yes, featuring J. Cole. J. Cole says something here, man, that sums up where I'm at, period, right now. And I hate to reference a bunch of bars from the two men on this joint, but J. Cole says, scared that I'm too disconnected from the kid's perspective. This is what I do on my channel. I feel like a lot of my stuff is... This is just sums it up for me. Scared I'm too disconnected from the kid's perspective. The world ain't got no patience for some shit that's introspective. So where in the F that leaves me irrelevant, I guess. I went from heaven sent to hella bent, intelligent but stressed. Damn. And like I just said, man, that's one reason I'm celebrating this and talking about this album the way that I am, is because it's a lot of introspective stuff on here, and it's good to see, like I said, it's good to see thoughtful music doing really well and being well received in the game right now. Obviously, with a guy like Skyzoo getting ready to come out with a project, that's going to be a lot of introspection in that. So Sojourner, I mean, then the production on Sojourner is dope. I said another thing, man. I think Rapsody really does well when she's with a faster beats per minute. Some of the stuff that she tries to do with changing her voice around and intonation, or getting into different levels of energy and playing with the words and doing different things, tricks with her voice and stuff. I'm gonna be honest, man. A lot of it doesn't land well with me. That's just my opinion. I'm not telling her that she shouldn't do it, and I hate when she does it. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just saying, man, it's that different voice stuff that a Busta Rhymes can do, that Lil Wayne, to if you like Lil Wayne, Kendrick Lamar, the different emotions and the stuff that J. Cole can do. I don't think Rapsody's voice really is versatile like that. But she does one of my favorite on here when she says something about something come back. That's neither here nor there. But I think, like I said, I said all that to say I think she plays around with that type of experiments with that when tracks are when the beats are slower, but when it's a faster paced joint, she really is keeping up with it and riding the beat. I think she really stays in the pocket and does well. So on Sojourner, she kills it. On like I said, the joint earlier, the second joint, Cleo's a more upbeat song. She's in the pocket on both of those, I feel. Maya, she's in the pocket on that one as well. Ibtihaj, a little bit slower, but I like her work on there. And then lastly, like I said, that leads us to the 16th song featuring P.J. Morton, Afeni, obviously for Tupac's mother. I think it's a phenomenal finale to the album. Like I said, coming up in the 90s, listening to music in the 90s, late 80s and the 90s, man, the finale of a lot of projects was always, it was never the video song, or very rarely was it the video song, a song in the video. I think What's the Scenario might have been the last track on the Tribe, the Low End Theory, I think. And they made a video for that, obviously. But Afeni is dope. Hopefully she does a video for that. It samples Free from Denise. I still didn't look her. I think I got it right here. Denise Simpson is what I want to say, but that just does not sound right. Let me see if I can get the details on that one real quick. I cannot. Damn, they don't have who that sample. Denise, somebody. Maybe I'll throw it in the description afterwards. But again, it has Tupac in the chorus, and it doesn't take Tupac from what is that, Dear Mama or Keep Your Head Up? I don't know Tupac like that. I apologize. I want to say that's Keep Your Head Up, if that's even the name of that one. But anyway, the whole now since we all came from a woman, got our names from a woman, and our game from a woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? So, but it's not the sample from that song. My man was telling me the other day it's something that you can find online, like he's talking in a classroom or something, and they use that. Again, Ninth Wonder produced this one. And again here, man, I mean, it's kind of like, it's just saying, man, we sisters are along with brothers for the struggle, or in the struggle. We're the natural counterpart for you in this whole thing. Please respect us, love us, cherish us. Let us be a part. Let us play our role in the fight. I don't know, man. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't think it's begging to be liked. I think it's just a fire song, man. And I'm hoping that brothers give it a listen and support it. Like I said, it's not saying women are better than men and women want to be better received or respected more than men. It's just saying give us a little love. And include us. And then the funny thing is here, she's out here saying some of this and the different sentiments that she has in this. And then you have the women out here, the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallions, because she has something in here about don't treat us like bitches and hoes and all of this stuff. But then you have some women out here with lyrics that's contrary to that. I just saw something in here that I really liked. Men should love this. She says, Tupac gone, rap had to message him. We try to do our best for them. Mother Panther vibes. We need strong men so our baby boys survive. Love our great fathers. I know some statistics lie. She's saying right there. Men are in the brothers are involved in the household, but she says, but all the ones that didn't, you gotta do your job. I know this life ain't easy. Every one of us is flawed. At least love your woman. We the closest thing to God, and tell her keep her head up every day that it gets hard. If you truly recognize that. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I enjoyed the song. I think it's really well written, well executed. And like I said, man, it closes out a really strong album, which closes out a dope back-to-back run for Rapsody. And I'm hoping that some cats take a chance, man, and put this in rotation and get a sister listen. So like I said, man, I did a banged up job. I was trying to get this out earlier. And last night I was actually working on it, and my wife came down and messed with me after I got kind of everything together on what I was going to do and say. And then getting started here tonight, football is on. I'm trying to keep an eye on that. But like I said, man, it's a very important project that I think should be supported. And I did my part. I think there was a couple articles out there. Like I says, one of them was Rolling Stones. I think they get talking about feminism. I really don't want to put it in the box, man. It's a dope record that goes beyond feminism for me. It's a great contemporary record. And like I said, man, it's the culmination of one of the game's hardest workers. So I think that's about it, man. Like I said, check out this Rolling Stone article. Rapsody's Eve is a masterpiece of hip hop feminism. If that's your thing, NPR has a review out there with Eve, Rapsody wields the legacies of legendary black women from Nina to Serena. It look like that's a decent read. I also break down all of the all of the songs too. So I would say check out this NPR article. And then Pitchfork has a review. They gave it an 8.0. I guess that's out of 10. I probably would be around there. I think so. So I think with that being said, man, I think I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. I know I went a little longer than what's new. But let me get on out of here, man. Y'all have a good one. Please leave some comments. Any, if anything on here helps you get into this record, or you find some stuff that you like, holler at me about it. I will respond, especially on a project like this. And I'm gonna get on out of here. Peace.
Fight back with aggression. Just come with your heart. I'll provide all the weapons. Come take a look in the eyes of a soldier. I drop that real and it spread like Ebola. Man, on my word, I don't know what they told you. I got the weight of the world on my. Let me tell you. Everybody know the name. I'm one of one. I'm a god in my lane. The devil up on me. I'm watching in flames. The Lord in my heart. I got my angel wings. They talk about people accomplishing dreams. They talk about me and the rest of my team. Keeping it G and they know what it's saying. It get complicated like Avril Lavigne. Yeah. Top down, screaming out money anything. Box out, never let